Hi, Leo. Welcome to Pandora Astrology's monthly horoscope for January of 2021. This month's mix of career and relationship themes can be very well addressed in a Natal and Transit reading. And if you want that, you'll find a link for it in the YouTube description below. 2021 has an entirely different character from 2020. We're really entering a whole new world. One reason for that is that Jupiter and Saturn have moved into Aquarius, which feels very different from their former Capricorn placements. We've talked about this already in your December horoscope, so I strongly suggest you go and check that to find out about it. And we've also started building a playlist for 2021, which you can find on our YouTube channel, Pandora Astrology, gathered together in its own playlist together. So, Julia, you have got some information for the Leos of the world about Mercury, Venus, and Mars.
Yes, I do. Well, hey there, Leo. So Mars for the first week of January, around the first week, is in your ninth house where it has been for a number of months now because it's done a whole retrograde cycle in this house. So that means for the last few months, you've been dealing with problems and frustrations that might have to do with ninth house activities, which are travel, education, legal matters, and maybe feeling restricted from having a sense of adventure because that's what this house represents too. But on January 6th, Mars is actually going to start moving into your 10th house of career and authority figures. So it's going to be a nice shift just to have a change. So that means that you might run into some conflicts and frustrations in your career, whether you're looking for a new one or whether it's the career that you're in. This is also the house of authority figures, like I mentioned. So this can be a time of flare-ups with the authority figures in your life, which could be everybody from your boss to your parents to your teachers, for example.
Yeah.
Then Mercury, the planet of communication and mentation, begins the month in your sixth house. This is the house of work, also the house of organization. So your mind will really be on your work matters for the first week of January. Then on January 8th, Mercury moves into your seventh house of partnership. So when this shift happens, it means that you're going to be doing your best thinking for the rest of the month with a partner or somebody to bounce your ideas off of. It's also a wonderful transit for hiring a consultant to sort of strategize and think things through with, whether that's a lawyer or a counselor. Now, Mercury is going to be going retrograde at the very tail end of the month on January 30th. But we'll talk about that whole cycle because it's mostly taking place in February in our next crop of videos. So you should look out for that. Then Venus, the planet of art, beauty, and relationships, begins the month in your fifth house, which is the most fun house in the zodiac. The first week of January is going to be great for just going out either with your partner and enjoying just a fun social scene, maybe going out to play games together or go to other sort of places of entertainment as well. But then on January 8th, Venus moves into your sixth house. Again, this is the house of work and routines. So it will be a nice time for getting along well with the people you work with, whether those are clients, customers, your coworkers, for example. And since this is the house of habits and Venus likes to indulge, you might be a little extra indulgent on your habits too.
True enough. So on January 19th, we have the beginning of a new season. The sun moves into Aquarius, and that brings the spotlight and a whole grouping of planets in Aquarius to your seventh house of relationships. So lots of relationship themes there, and also helping to kick off this year's relationship themes, because Saturn will be there all year, Jupiter will be there all year, which means that Saturn will be testing you and Jupiter will be helping you to grow in your relationship. So the sun is going to kick all that off with Aquarius season. We have two moons to talk about. One of them is on the 12th. It is a new moon in Capricorn, which is happening in your sixth house of work, health, service, and personal organization. So a new moon brings a sense of new beginnings. It's often refreshing, invigorating. This particular one we're calling Newborn Ambitions Phoenix Rising. And that is because, well, newborn, it is a new moon. So there's that feeling of freshness. And then Capricorn, so it's going to deal with ambitions and your desire to progress and advance at your job, most specifically. And then also Pluto is here. Pluto's one of Pluto's best sort of themes and metaphors is the idea of the phoenix. And so there is a lot of destruction that comes with Pluto, but also a lot of reconstruction afterwards. Now, Pluto's been traveling along through the sign of Capricorn and your 6th house for a really long time, many years, more than a decade. And it's been kind of tearing stuff down in your work life and in terms of your capacity to be organized for that. But I think that this new moon is going to signal more of a sense of rebirth with that. There's later in the month, there's a full moon in Leo, and that's happening on the 28th. And it's happening in your 1st house. So this one might feel personal. It might feel like it's very much about you, and you might feel like there's some identity tied to it for you because of that 1st house placement. And we're calling this one Be Recognized for Your Generosity, because the chances of actually being recognized are pretty good under a moon like this one, which includes a grand trine and fire. Juno here, Chiron there, the moon here. It's a really kind of awesome and sweet moon for just showing up, being seen, being noticed, and getting some acclaim. Now, this winter is a really good time for starting new projects. And the reason for that is twofold. One is the pandemic hot degree has expired. Woohoo, poof, gone, not coming back. And there are also no outer planets retrograde, which is wonderful. And so it's a really good time, possibly the best time all year, to start the kinds of projects that are really big, that are going to last for many months, such as breaking ground on building something, such as a large purchase like a car or a home or a condo or a property, or starting a business. And so what I'm saying is, because of the lack of retrogradation, things should move forward swimmingly if you do that initial thing, like sign that contract, accept that first dollar for your services or your product in your new business, dig that shovel into the earth, initiate the thing during January and February, with the exception of the Mercury retrograde period that is happening from January 30th to, what do my notes say, February 20th. So avoiding January 30th to February 20th. In other times in January and February, really great time to start those big projects this year. Well, we hope you enjoyed this horoscope that we made for you. And if you did, please be sure to subscribe and like and share widely with all of your friends and relatives. And you can find more stuff like this on our YouTube channel, Pandora Astrology, and also on our website, pandoraastrology.com, where you can find horoscopes, monthly forecast, and get a reading or even join a class. And until next time, we'll see you around the cosmos. Bye.
Bye-bye.